Were you still at university when the war started?
Yes, I was at university when this war started, and at that time, there was a lot of discrimination news in the papers, and usually it was from two politicians, and I guess it was because that the Japanese didn't have the franchise in those days. One was Alderman Halford Wilson on the city council, and he was always saying something anti-Japanese. And the other was Howard Green. He was a conservative MP in Ottawa. And reason I remember because he was a prominent United Church member, very prominent in the in the news for the church things. And then in the paper, he was always saying something about the anti-Japanese in Ottawa in Parliament. So. But counteracting that, not many politicians spoke up for the Japanese, but when I was going to university, there was a professor named Henry Angus, and he was, in his very thoughtful way, encouraged the students to ignore the anti-Japanese feelings in those days, and he really encouraged the Nisei students at university to go about their studies and try to not get too discouraged over the discrimination.
What do you remember about the start of the war?
At the start of the war, I remember that we were all expected to go into the Canadian Officers Training Corps, the universities, and we were all handed uniforms, and every 2 or 3 times a week we went on marches and different exercises that we had to do, and did what we called some military training. There was a Colonel Shrum, he was a physics professor, he was a colonel, and he was the head of the Canadian COTC training at the University of British Columbia.